Razer sent over their BlackWidow Chroma V2. It's actually a pretty awesome gaming keyboard. It uses Razer's own mechanical switches that we'll get onto in a second, and also the biggest new development is it comes with a wrist rest, and that's actually a really big thing. It's actually pretty awesome, so let's take a look. Taking a look at the box, the first thing you'll probably notice is the little try me key down the bottom. This is actually pretty interesting, as this is the key switch of the keyboard that you have. Now, the one that I'm currently holding is actually a triple tester unit, sort of keychain type thing, but the one you'll get in the box is a keychain, does come with a little hook, and it's actually really awesome. Each one of them lights up with a chroma LED underneath that cycles through the different colours, and this specific one I believe is something that they just give out for like events and stuff like that, but either way, it does actually have all three types of Razer switches on it. So I'll give you a quick sound test. Here is the Razer Green, the clicky tactile one. Here is the Razer Orange, and here is the Razer Yellow. So the Razer Green is fairly similar to Cherry MX Blues, the Razer Orange is more like browns, Cherry MX Browns, and the Razer Yellow is basically Cherry MX Reds. Now either way, this is a pretty cool combination, this is also a pretty cool thing, and I'm keeping these on my desk to play with constantly, including the little one. But either way, that is the box. Also on the back you do get the overall explanation of a few of the main features, but let's take a look at the keyboard. You have per key backlighting, RGB, and plenty of effects in the Razer Synapse software that I'll show you in a second, and overall you do have some extra macro keys, 5 on the left hand side, as well as FN and F keys and that sort of thing, functionality for media control. The keyboard's build quality feels fantastic, and I really love the wrist rest. It's very plush, it's nice and firm but not too firm, it's also nice and soft but not too soft, so it really is a fantastic balance for me anyway. Feels fantastic, the quality of the material feels very nice, and the best bit for me is that it attaches magnetically, so there's no actual clips that make you sort of fumble to get it on and off and that sort of thing. So if you just want to type without one, or you want to go an extended gaming session or extended typing session, you want to put it down, easily attaches, you just drop it on and that's all you need to do. On the right hand side you'll find the USB pass-through as well as the audio pass-through. In the first generation, or V1, you'll find that this is both the separate headphone and microphone jacks. In this one it is a 4-pole, so that you have to plug in your user's sort of mobile headphones or something like that to make full use of this, although it does still have normal sort of audio pass-through, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Now the connections that you get for the plugging it into your PC, you've got the 4-pole audio jack as well as 2 USB ports, one of them labelled port, which is obviously the port on the side, and one of them labelled Razer, which is for the keyboard. Typing on the keyboard, especially up here on this desk, as you'll see in the B-roll footage that's probably running over me right now, this is a very nice keyboard to type on. I was really impressed with the overall experience, it felt really nice to type on, and considering that I like the Cherry MX Brown switches the most personally, the Razer Orange switches I think were the best match for me. It's still not quite the same feeling, it's slightly different, and I think there's certain sort of nuances to it as such that does mean that it doesn't feel just quite as good, but it's certainly a nice overall typing experience. Talking about the switches, actually, I can't give you any idea of longevity here because, well, this is rated for I think 50 million or more keystrokes per key. It's something that I genuinely can't, just say this will last for this long. It does feel like a fairly quality switch, it doesn't feel like they've cheaped out at all, it does feel pretty good, so I'm quietly confident that it's a pretty good overall switch, and of course we'll have to see as time goes on how they progress and how well they do on longevity. When it comes to the posture of the keyboard, even with the feet down, it's actually a pretty nice overall position. With the feet up, it's also pretty good, and this just depends on what your preference is for where your wrists are tilting, especially with the wrist rest there. That just kind of adds a little bit of height for you as well. So overall, a fairly comfortable keyboard to type on for me. When gaming as well, it was also very comfortable. I was fairly happy with the overall experience with it. It's a little bit noisier than my, for example, Cooler Master Keys Pro L, which is a Cherry MX Brown switch. It's mostly what it sounds like is when the key bottoms out, there's a bit more of an echo that comes up through the key and then out and that sort of thing. So it is a little bit louder, even though this isn't the clicky tactile switch, this is the tactile silent switch, which is a little bit louder than the Cherry MX brand. So if silence is important to you, that's something to note. When it comes to the lighting effects, I was actually quite impressed. Now this is fairly similar to any of the other Chroma products that Razer have released in the last year or two, and as you see in the Razer Synapse software, it's fairly easy to use the Chroma configurator to not only change the existing profile but add new profiles for different games. Also add new layers as well, so if you want most of the keyboard waving but you just want WSD as a static color or something like that, so it's easier to detect, then you can do that too. So there's a lot of configurability available in the Chroma software, as well as in Razer Synapse as well, for customizing obviously the 5 macro keys, creating your own macros as well, which is actually a really simple and easy to do process, and obviously customizing any of the other keys as well. So what do I think of this? Well, for me, it's actually a pretty impressive keyboard. It does sit in the upper echelons of the price category, I think currently sitting about £160 to £170 respectively, so it's certainly in those, you know, upper limits of the premium keyboard category, and you do actually get quite a lot from that. Now, of course, you are still paying the Razer tax, as you always do with Razer products, but it is actually pretty impressive. Build quality is fantastic. The features, especially on the software side, are quite impressive. So overall, yeah, pretty good. So I think in terms of scoring, I'm going to go with a 4 for 5 for money. I'm going to go with a 5 for performance, and I think a 4.5 for functionality, a 5 for styling, and I think an overall 4 for TechteamGB score, but a gold award. It's a fantastic keyboard, and I do highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for something relatively flashy, also pretty comfortable, also that wrist rest, and overall just, you know, Razer branded products and that sort of thing. So as I said, I'm quite impressed with it, and yeah, I guess that's kind of that really. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, subscribe, like, let me know what you think of the keyboard. Is this something that you're going to pick up at any time soon, or is the Corsair offering or more budget offerings more for your liking? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to leave a couple other videos over here for you to check out. Of course, the subscribe button over this side. If you want to check out this keyboard, especially for pricing when you watch it, I'll leave a link to Amazon and Overclockers UK in the description down below, as well as more general Amazon and Overclockers UK affiliate links. If you could use those, they genuinely support the channel, they help me make more videos, they help me keep the channel running, pay for the rent and all that sort of stuff. So if you do that, that would be utterly fantastic, and I'd love you forever. And of course, feel free to subscribe, like, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Otherwise, thank you for watching, we'll see you all in the next video.